has created fire! What's up, YouTube? What's up, Hammerheads? Vanhammer HP. Craig coming at you. Looky what we got here. It's a mess, man. And it's a big pain in the you-know-what. Anyway, we got Darla the Diesel back here. I just want to bring y'all a little update on her. We have been digging into her, trying to get her road ready, try to get her reliable. And, man, when you work on a truck that's got 229,000 miles on it, you're in for a treat. Well, if you can kind of see here, anyway, well, you can see the wheels have changed. We'll get a closer look at them. We got them big old mud tires off there, even though these got mud all over them. But we got some little more roadworthy tires on there. We got our step rails changed out. This one was actually kind of busted up. Looked like somebody had ran into something on the corner and it actually had ripped the bracket out of the bottom on the old one. So we got those changed. And now we're working on the engine here. But it has been craziness. We started off, we're in my dad's shop here. Thank God he has one. We brought it up here for the weekend because the initial weekend to work on this, the weather was going to be bad. And so I brought it up here so I'd have a place indoors to get everything done. And I took about 4 or 5 days off work to come up here and work on it, and thought I was going to be able to get it all done then. And what turned into a 4 or 5 day project, we're now on 3 weeks later. Not that it's taken 3 weeks, but I took the 4 or 5 days off. We had some parts break. And then so I've been coming up here on the weekends trying to get it done. And then last weekend we had some parts break. And so anyway, we're hoping that we're done with parts being broken or breaking, and that we can get her together. Just to give you a heads up here, like I said, we ain't doing no 6.0 tutorials. There's plenty of them out there, but you can see here we got an injector. So we had some test runs on the injectors. There was 2 of them, 3 and 7, that were misfiring on startup, but then were running smoothly as the truck warmed up with the miles it had on it. I didn't have the money really to buy all new injectors. So we found some videos on how to rebuild them. Seemed pretty simple, and so we did that. And the last one on the driver's side and the last one on the passenger side, believe it or not, this little notch right here, this is where the 2 pieces separate. And there's a tool to use this, or you can use the little hold down that actually holds down the injector to break these loose. And one time I was doing it by myself and it must have cocked, but it shaved the corner of this notch off. And then the second time we did the same thing. We were putting one back together after rebuilding it, and my dad was even holding it straight, and still somehow we broke this piece off. So we had to buy 2 more injectors. The first one came last weekend. We were able to get it in, get the passenger side together, the valve cover back on. Then this one came in a couple days later, so we need to put it in. Anyway, then we were working on this bad boy. This is the oil cooler housing, and the old one is actually right up underneath there. But we had some issues with these 3 holes. This is an aluminum piece. Your oil filter base, or the oil cooler housing cover, goes on top of that. That's actually this piece right here, and you screw it down with some bolts in here. Anyway, these three wouldn't torque down, so we came back last weekend and tried to put some Healy coils in these three to fix the issue. I heard that was a common issue and then a common fix for that. And so we got the Healy coils in. We started torquing everything down. We torqued these down, came to this one, and we went to torque it down, and it actually cracked the housing right here. So big fail there. So then we had to order this part. This part just came in yesterday, so that's what we were waiting on. That really, when you didn't have one injector and then this part breaks and you're waiting on this part, it really stalls you out on your rebuild. But we'll hop up here, kind of take a look. You kind of see where we're at. But we had a slow oil leak in this bad boy here. And I didn't know really where it was coming from, and I'm hoping doing all this fixes this. So you can see here we've already got you can see this is the newer injector, but we've got all them in, the valve cover back on. High pressure oil pump, we took that apart. We replaced the fitting. Believe it or not, with all the miles on this still had the original fitting back there in the back that's known to blow out or break. It was actually fine, but we put the updated fitting on there. Updated our seals in the IPR there. Updated all our O-rings and seals in the high pressure oil pump. Got it back on. And then, like I said, we ran into the issue here with the oil cooler. So we'll get that in today. We're gonna do this injector. You can see back there where the tape is. That's where that last injector goes in. We'll get our valve cover back off, put our injector in, put the oil rail back in, our standpipe, our dummy plug. Then we'll be able to slap that valve cover back on, and then we can come back, work here in the middle, and get this stuff sealed up, man. You can see over here we got a new tank here for the coolant. That's our turbo. We'll clean it up a little bit. We're not going to break it down and rebuild it. We already had our Sinister blue spring in there. The Fickum is good per the test. Came with these cheap knockoff Sinister charge pipes with these real cheap things. See how flexible they are? And then they didn't use the right clamps on it. They used some other clamps, so we were getting quite a bit of moisture leak out of the turbo tube there. And then this thing was rubbing on one of these screws right here, and it's got a hole in it. So we got some goodies for that over here. You can see here we got, well, they're all taped up, but we got new Sinister diesel charge pipes, and they're gray and not blue. Thank God. I'm not a big fan of the blue, so Sinister offers this in a gray, and you'll get to see them once we get them put in there. And I'm glad to get these and it being in the gray color and not the blue. So, oh, this is an important piece too. This is your little EGR cooler connection here. Make sure you always get the forward part and not the cheap aftermarket one. So the cheap ones have a tendency of leaking, so we're gonna need this today. All right, man, so we're gonna get that together. We're gonna get some music on and get rolling in here, start putting this stuff together. We'll see how far I get today. We'll come back with a little updates here and there, so you can see how we've gotten along and share this experience with you a little bit. All right, Hammerheads, we got her back together. It's another day from the last time we were with you. We ran into some more issues. We had some issues with Again, another issue with the oil cooler cover, but we got that fixed. And we're together. There's our new Sinister diesel charge piping here. I really love that silver grayish over the blue. There's our coolant filter there. We did have to put back in the old cheapy cold air intake. I wasn't able to put my new one in. The new one required that you had some parts from the stock air filter box and all that kind of stuff, so I'll have to track that stuff down so we can put that new cold air intake in there. But we got her together. It's probably going to take a few cranks to get her to start, but got the oil in her, got some coolant in her. We'll probably have to add some coolant as she's running, but yeah, we're ready to maybe give her a try. Hope we don't see no smoke or have any explosions or hear any loud metal contact noises. I don't know. We got all our tools out of the area. We've double checked everything. Our coolant's starting to settle a little more. There's another look at this Sinister diesel charge piping that's gray. We went with this, the extreme diesel power coolant filter here. New coolant bottle. You can see it's crystal clear. The other one, man, had oil all caked up in there. I'm sure this thing had an oil cooler failure at one point. But like I said, man, we flushed. I did a coolant flush for about 4 hours on this thing before we even started. Drained all that nasty oil. We've got the Rotella T6 in there now. Of course, we went regular Motorcraft coolant, mixed it with our distilled water. Oh man, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. All right, go ahead. That sound, that's what it's supposed to sound like. Go ahead. Has created fire! Oh, that already sounds so much better than it ever did. Well, I did knock just a little bit at the beginning, but no knock or nothing. Yes! It already sounds so much better than it did. Yeah! Now, of course, we just started it. We haven't driven it. I'm so glad it started though. Yeah. Alright, we'll come back in just a minute. Alright, Hammerhead, so we're rolling. You can see there, we're got the cruise control set about 75. We're finally getting to take Big Darla home. You know, got oil pressure staying steady there. Engine temp, coolant temp looks good. We do got boost, even though of course we're cruising, so the boost ain't there. But you know, when we romp on the gas, we got boost. The boost gauge is working. So yeah, man, we're looking good. Yesterday we did take it out for a little test drive. We romped on it a little bit, blew the hot side cack pipe or cack tube off the turbo. I don't think we had it cinched down enough. Those things are kind of touchy. You gotta be careful with them. You don't want to strip them, but you gotta get them tight enough too. So I don't guess we had it on too tight, but she ran good yesterday. And so went on home, and Mrs. Vanhammer brought me back today to pick her up and take her home, so that's what we're doing. anyway, hopefully everything goes good with her. You know, she's an old truck, so we still got stuff here and there that we gotta fix on her and stuff, and get her in tip-top shape. But that was the first of it, and that was probably one of the major portions of it, unless something goes out between now and then, like a turbo or something like that. But for now, it looks like we're doing good. We're just another step closer getting her ready to pull in that fifth wheel. So, and then of course that'll be the real challenge for her. So anyway, you can see Scarlett back there. Maybe you can see her through the window. She's following me, making sure I ain't pouring out no fluids or anything. But yeah, man, I think we're good. So there you go. That's your update on Darla. Like always, drop the hammer. Peace.